Hello, welcome to the 6 a.m. news here on 3FM 92.7. This news is coming to you live from our studios here in the Desawe Kanda, and also coming to you live on Kesmi 107.1 FM. Coming up this morning, tributes pour in for former First Lady Nana Akufo-Addo following her passing.
At this stage, the family is obviously in mourning and will crave your indulgence to give us some privacy.
Also, political analysts slam 63 NPP MPs after openly declaring support for NPP presidential hopeful Dr. Bawumia.
The party is not united. The party is suffering. It's hemorrhaging from Mr. Alan Chamantin leaving, forming the UP now.
And much later in this bulletin, trial judge adjourns the case of former National Signals Bureau boss to October 30 after lawyers walk out.
The ambivalence that you want to disqualify a judge from hearing the case and you sitting to continue the case. I cannot answer in this record, so I need to leave the chamber.
We'll bring you details of these and other stories. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. We'll start off on a rather solemn note as tributes continue to pour in following the death of the former First Lady, Nana Akufo-Addo. Nana Akufo-Addo died at age 76. She passed away on Thursday morning, October 23, at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. First, let's listen to the head of the family, Nana Akwesi-Abeye, speaking at a media briefing last night.
Earlier this morning, Her Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo felt unwell and was subsequently admitted at the military hospital. Unfortunately, she passed. His Excellency the President was subsequently informed accordingly, and Utufo was sent to the Secretary was also informed. His Excellency the President has caused an official statement to be made confirming Akufo-Addo's death. At this stage, the family is obviously in mourning and will crave your indulgence to give us some privacy. All further notices will be relayed by the government.
Meanwhile, traders at the 31st December Women's Market have eulogized the late former First Lady as an advocate for women. They told my colleague Grace Hamwa-Ajman that but for the establishment of the market, many women would have struggled to find a safe and dignified space to earn a living.
The 31st December Women's Market, established by the former First Lady, Nana Akufo-Addo, among other things, provided women traders with litigation-free market spaces and capital to financially empower women. The traders here were clad in black and red to mourn the founder of the market. They tell me the establishment of the market has contributed to financially empower most of them.
We had the news that our mother, Akufo-Addo, just kicked the bucket, and we couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. And in fact, I just don't know, because she built the market. She built this market that we're selling. I don't know.
Yeah, because mama no mo be the market e di si wo and na ye so ye nyemu atena enti ya se mama no efi
no wo fo gwadwa won kale le at the first ne wo yo mi that the first wo yo mi e industry na fe at the first ne still a machine ka clinic na fe wo ya jo lo
o stronguma okuma me ema enti o stronguma me man rest in peace na me furniture baby pa o yesu dey
bra no ne ni kun ye adwuma no oboa ne kun na no aso di nenim de ne na adwene aye adwuma e man na nchiri manya so mfaso.
President of the Greater Accra Markets, Mercy Jan, eulogized her as a champion for women's independence.
We became very bold. You are ever ready because we like a cockle ibanye chabo at any time ni owie no se hu efia ni jobanye ya ne ba hie e ba wabo ko ni o ha shejeme
And those were some traders at the 31st December market were utilizing with the fleet's former First Lady as an advocate for women. May her soul continue to rest in perfect peace. Now, moving on, President John Dramani Mahama has affirmed his unwavering willingness to defend judicial independence at all material times. Speaking at the swearing-in of the ceremony of 37 new High Court judges, the president cautioned against needless adjournment and delays in the adjudication of case.
Across Ghana, our elders say, when the chief's judgment is fair, peace reigns in the village. And likewise, when the judge's decisions are fair, confidence reigns in the republic. Be incorruptible, not only in fact, but also in perception. Let every citizen who appears before you believe that their faith rests solely on the evidence and the law, never on influence or their connections. Justice and development are not separate ideals. They are inseparable twins of the same mother.
President John Dramani Mahama then out to some political stories. Political analyst Dr. Jonathan Asante says the New Patriotic Party has disintegrated because there's high acrimony among the members. His comment comes after 63 out of the 87 New Patriotic Party members of Parliament declared their support for the former Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, in the party's upcoming presidential primaries. Dr. Jonathan Asante says the MPs have failed as arbitrators after throwing their support behind one candidate.
The party is not united. The party is suffering. It's hemorrhaging from Mr. Alan Chamantin leaving, forming the UP now. And of course, if you look at the antagonism that has taken place between the Kennedy camp, the Bawumia camp, the Brian camp, the Bawumia camp, then it should tell you that there is that high acrimony. The attrition rate is very high within the party. And you are suggesting that Dr. Bawumia is the source of unity. Well, I think that his track record has not proven so.
Political analyst Dr. Jonathan Asante there. Now, drama unfolded at the Accra High Court after aggrieved lawyers for the former National Signals Bureau Director, led by Samuel Atacha, staged a walkout in court on Thursday because the trial judge refused to grant the appeal for adjournment. My colleague Lord Idwasari has more in this report.
On Thursday, October 23, lead counsel Samuel Atacha notified the court of filing an application at the Supreme Court to prohibit Justice Eugene Nyedu-Nyante from further hearing the case, citing alleged bias. He prayed for an adjournment of the case pending the determination of the matter at the Apex Court, but prosecution led by Principal State Attorney A.C. Dental Yanka urged the court to dismiss the application. She noted that the mere filing of an application at the Supreme Court should not warrant a stay of proceedings and an automatic adjournment. The presiding judge, after hearing both counsel, agreed with the prosecution and refused the prayer for adjournment. He then ordered the prosecution's second witness to mount the witness box and continue with her submissions. But even before that could take place, lead counsel Samuel Atacha sought leave from the court and departed with his entourage of lawyers. He expressed disappointment at the development in court.
The case is just, let's took it to the Supreme Court. The judge is saying no, he won't grant the adjournment, and that he is ready to continue the case. As to why the judge is in an ambulance to continue the case, I cannot wait for the Supreme Court for 1 week. He leaves married to me, exactly. And I'm caught between the rock and the hard place. How? The ambivalence that you want to disqualify a judge from hearing the case, and you sitting to continue the case. I cannot answer in this record, so I need to leave the chamber.
In the absence of the defense lawyers, the presiding judge ordered Kwabena Edu-Boahen to call his lawyers back to the court or represent himself, after which the court went on a brief recess. After failing to contact his lawyer, the former National Signals Bureau Director pleaded with the court for an adjournment. The trial judge then adjourned the case to October 30 for continuation.
That was a report by my colleague Lord Idwasari. That's the first half of this morning's bulletin. For more news, please check our website at 3news.com. I am Inyunam Halika. Business News is right up.
92.7. Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to the Business News and Sunrise. Coming up, exchange rate gains and slowed borrowing drives Ghana's domestic debt past external obligations in significant fiscal shift.
Currently, the Ghana currency is the best performing currency in Africa, having performed well over 38%. Government has concentrated their borrowing effort within the domestic market, most especially the treasury bill market.
Meanwhile, government seeks 6.82 billion cedis in treasury bill auction today amid investor uncertainty. Plus, economist says value addition is key to mitigating gold price volatility.
Change the gear. You have to look at the other areas. And here, it is time for us to stop depending on the raw material, because the figures are just raw material figures.
I am Michael Obodu. Details of these and many other stories coming up shortly. Please don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for your time. Straight into our top story. Now, Head of Finance at Melbourne Capital, Nelson Kujo Kwagbeji, has attributed Ghana's domestic debt overtaking external debt for the first time in several years to a combination of exchange rate gains and a slower pace of debt accumulation. This marks a significant shift in the country's borrowing pattern. According to the latest figures from the Bank of Ghana, domestic debt now stands at 323.7 billion cedis, representing 23.1% of GDP.
Since the beginning of this year, government hasn't borrowed externally. And we have also noted that as a result of the appreciation of the cedi, the external component of the debt has reduced significantly as a result of the relative performance of the Ghanaian cedi. And so the fact that the domestic debt outweighs that of the external debt should tell you that we have enjoyed some level of stability regarding, the currency. I mean, the currency has performed so well that currently the Ghana currency is the best performing currency in Africa, having performed well over 38%. Government has concentrated their borrowing effort within the domestic market, most especially the treasury bill market. And so what we expect is that government will continue to borrow domestically, most especially within the treasury bill market, till the end of the year.
And that was Nelson Kujo Kwagbeji. He's the head of finance of Melbourne Capital. Now, government is set to tap the domestic market this week, aiming to raise 6.82 billion cedis through its scheduled treasury bill auction across the 91-day, 182-day, and 364-day maturities. This report has more.
Market observers will be keenly watching the auction results to determine if investor appetite for short-term government debt has recovered as government targets 6.82 billion cedis on the market. The upcoming auction follows a period marked by a persistent undersubscription trend where demand for the debt instruments has consistently fallen short of the amounts government seeks to raise. This borrowing exercise comes as the Ministry of Finance announces a massive borrowing target for the final quarter of 2025. Meanwhile, government plans to raise a total of 75.700 billion cedis via the treasury market between October and December, signaling an aggressive push for domestic financing to close its funding gaps. The success of this week's auction will be seen as an early indicator of the market's capacity and willingness to meet this substantial end-of-year borrowing requirement.
That was a 3 Business News Desk report. Now, gold's recent price volatility on the global market has renewed calls for Ghana, a major gold exporter, to maximize profits through value addition before shipment. This urgency follows a dramatic market shift, with gold prices falling sharply worldwide, dropping more than 6% in a single day. This decline has wiped out approximately $300 from the value of each ounce, sending immediate shockwaves through the Ghanaian economy. Executive Director for the Center for Policy Scrutiny, Dr. Edu Owusu-Sarkodie, insists that the only way for Ghana to maximize the benefits from its gold production is to add value to the raw commodity before it leaves the country.
When you are managing an economy and you get to a point that things are not going as you expected, you have to change the gear. You have to look at the other areas. And here, it is time for us to stop depending on the raw material, because the figures are just raw material figures. And Ghana and many African countries are well known for exporting raw materials. Time to stop our dependence on raw materials. Fair enough, if the raw gold is giving us 8 billion, thank God. But what about the manufacturing? The manufacturing can get that 20, 30, 50 billion. So let's now focus more on the manufacturing of the gold that we produce. How do we manufacture them, add value to them before we export them? That should be the conversation now, and I'm sure the authorities will take it up as we go forward.
Executive Director for the Center for Policy Scrutiny, Dr. Edu Owusu-Sarkodie speaking. Now, following data showing that informal cross-border trade between Ghana and its three land neighbors, Togo, Burkina Faso, and Cote d'Ivoire, was valued at a significant 7.4 billion cedis in the fourth quarter of 2024, the Ghana Statistical Service has promised key reforms to improve the country's trade balance. Government statistician Dr. Hassan Idrisu noted that the need to regulate the large volume of cross-border commerce in order to maximize economic benefit.
We need to strengthen our collaboration with Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, and Burkina Faso, our borders, for our neighboring countries, for data sharing and customs harmonization. In fact, informal trade does not stop at Ghana's border posts, as we've seen. It flows freely across Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, and Burkina Faso, shaping local economies and across West Africa. So working with ECOWAS and our neighboring statistical agencies, Ghana should continue to champion data harmonization and policy alignment, as well as evidence-based regional integration. We should boost local production of goods like cooking oil, rice, and mattresses to cut import dependence and create jobs.
That was government statistician Dr. Hassan Idrisa speaking there. We'll turn our attention now to the currency and the commodities market.
On the interbank foreign exchange market, the dollar is selling at 10 cedis, 80 pesos. It's gained 8 pesos. The British pound is selling at 14 cedis, 38 pesos. It's gained 4 pesos. The euro is selling at 12 cedis, 54 pesos. It also gained 8 pesos. However, be guided that these figures could be higher at a forex bureau near you. On the global commodities market, Brent crude is trading at $65.89 per barrel, up by $3.30. Gold is trading at $4,134.97 per ounce, up by $36.55. Cocoa is trading at $6,339 per ton, up by $41.
And those were updates from the currency and the commodities market, bringing an end to the business news on Sunrise. For more business stories, please visit our website at streetnews.com/business. I am Michael Obodu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe.